Hi girl bosses. I should have worn my hair down so I could do the hi girl bosses. Obviously by the title you saw, today I'm gonna be reading UNCARLEY's favorite books. I don't know why I did this. So remember when I said that I don't know how to like things in a casual way? Exhibit A, John Green. Exhibit B, Harry Styles. So my latest, I don't want to say obsession because it makes me sound like I'm a stalker, but like a little bit, I'm kind of obsessed. My latest interest is UNCARLEY. If you don't know, Carly is a booktuber and she is not like other girls. And I literally will be basing my personality on hers until I find something better. She made this video about her favorite books. Like the unhinged stalker I am, I bought a bunch of them. Mainly the ones that were available on thrift books because we are balling on a budget. Carly also has this series on her channel that I 100% ripped off where she reads celebrities' favorite books and then analyzes them based on that. Since I've literally never had an original thought in my life, I thought that I would just steal her content basically and read all of her recommendations. I Am Not Myself These Days by Kilmer-Purcell, a memoir, I think. I promise I watched her video. I'm pretty sure it's a memoir. I'm really good at this book shape thing. Lust and Wonder. I love how I'm holding it up and it's literally just a white book. It could be literally anything. Lust and Wonder by Augusten Burroughs, which is a memoir. And I have read Augusten Burroughs before and I really liked his writing style. So I'm excited for this. Conversations with Friends by Miss Sally Rooney. Now, I don't know if you've watched a Carly Thorne video, but the hype that this girl gives Sally Rooney is unmatchable.
I would let Sally Rooney pour acid up my butthole, and I'd thank her.
Nervous. I've read Normal People and I loved Normal People, so I'm excited to read this because I think it'll be really up my alley. I'm like scared because like what if it doesn't live up to its hype? Like Normal People was beautiful and amazing and I loved it, but it was also a little bit painful. I expect nothing less. Exciting Times by Naiose Dolan, which is supposed to be Sally Rooney-esque. Excited. Less by Andrew Sean Greer. It won the Pulitzer. It's about this guy who, what is it about? His ex-boyfriend gets engaged and he doesn't want to go to the wedding, but instead of just being like a loser and staying at home and not going to the wedding, he accepts different invitations to literary events around the world. That's 5 books, so that's kind of a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna read them. Carly likes to go on 3-hour walks, so channeling my inner Carly and just walking in nature, pondering life, having a Wordsworth moment. For sure will not be walking for 3 hours because it is actually 90 degrees outside. Just listening to Less on my walk. It's so good. I'm really loving it. Fit check.
The restaurant sits on a rock above the river and is very old and water-stained in ways that would delight a painter and trouble a contractor. Some of the walls seem bent with humidity, and paper hangings have taken on the crinkle Les associates with books he has left in the rain.
I just finished reading I Am Not Myself These Days. I'm just kind of like, I don't even know how to feel. I'm like sad that it's over. Coming at you with disgusting lighting because it's nighttime and I have horrible time management skills. Let's talk about Carly's favorite books. Of her video, there were some that I feel like these books can be grouped. You've got your gay comedians and your depressed 20-year-old bi women. And those are the 2 main categories. I'm seeing why she likes these books because she's queer, she's comedic, she's Cancer. I was thinking of C words. Queer does not start with a C, you idiot. She is a Cancer. I'm a Cancer and I'm like, I just understand her so well. I know it's just the Barnum effect, but I'm really seeing the hard shell exterior, but like a soft inner core. First of all, because that's how the characters act, mainly in Sally Rooney and Exciting Times. A gay comedy. This is like my new favorite genre. I loved these books. Josh Kilmer-Purcell. I freaking loved this book. It was like funny, but depressing. And I feel like that's kind of her vibe. It was just so well written, super interesting read. This is his memoir about life as a drag queen and also his relationship with his boyfriend who's a sex worker and then also becomes addicted to crack, and just sort of how that destroys their relationship and their lives. Heartbreaking, heartfelt, funny. Usually when I am reading a book and I come to the end, I'll sort of read the last chapter quickly, skim the epilogue. I'm like, all right, it's time to wrap this up. When a book is really good, I will savor every last word, and that's what I did with this book because it was so good. Not only did I read the epilogue, I also read the acknowledgements and the little blurbs in the after. I really enjoyed it. Moving on, these books, so sweet. I wanted to hug them. Comforting, happy vibes, and like very funny and cynical at times. The reason that I was saying that I can tell Carly's a Cancer is because I feel like she puts on this persona of hating everything and being super cynical. She says that she doesn't like romance. Have their moments of heartwarming and sweet, and so like I get the vibe that Carly on the outside, she's this #girlboss, pretends to be a hater, but like deep down she's kind of a softie. Even with the memoirs that have like these really dark and sad moments in them, they also have their faith in humanity is restored moments. Now I want to talk about these two books, which I'm grouping together. I loved this book. It kind of gave me Bell Jar vibes a little bit. This young woman in her 20s is kind of confused, maybe a little bit mentally ill, sort of just scared about her future. In Sally Rooney's books, there are no real heroes or villains. They're just people, not necessarily good people or bad people. They're just normal people. Oh my gosh, that's the title of one of her books. They make bad decisions because that's what people do. And she's not trying to say this person is bad for this reason. She's just saying that everyone does fucked up things, but it's just sort of a part of life, I guess. I do F with Sally Rooney. I do. I really liked this book. And based on these four that I read, I can say that Carly has good taste. I would say there are for sure themes of like, these people are deeply troubled and their lives are a little bit fucked up, but they are 100% using comedy as a coping mechanism. I'm not trying to like come for Carly and be like, you're mentally ill and you are using comedy to cope, because like who's not? Also, she has said in her videos that she struggles with mental illnesses, so I hope I'm not, I don't know, I hope it's not like mean of me to say that. I just think that's what I'm getting from these books. Maybe it's wrong, I don't know, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. Okay. Exciting times. Oh boy. I didn't finish it. There's part of me that's like, oh, she's smarter than me. Like it says words like defalcatory fricative. Those are words that are in this book. I read up to about 60 pages in. It was just kind of like boring. Like nothing really happened. I should have probably kept reading, but I just felt a book slump coming on if I forced myself to finish this book. I couldn't get through it. I see the Sally Rooney parallels. There's not much that I can say about this other than I think Carly's just smarter than me and this one probably went over my head, so I'm sorry. Also, briefly want to mention The Great Gatsby because that is one of her favorite books. I didn't reread it for this video, but I've read it before. I mean, I liked it fine, but I read it for school, so I probably didn't like it as much as I would have if I had read it on my own time. Because like when I have to read books for school, I mostly just am mad that somebody's like telling me what to do. One of the main themes of Gatsby is that idea that the American dream isn't really accurate, because Gatsby is a successful businessman and he has all this money, but he still isn't happy because he doesn't have Daisy and that's like the only thing he wants. And Sally Rooney definitely talks a lot about capitalism and socialism. And again, like Carly's probably smarter than me, so it kind of a little bit went over my head and I was like, yeah, socialism. But the overall takeaway here is that Carly really does want to be a girl boss. She's got this successful YouTube channel and she's doing her whole comedy thing, but she also knows deep down that money and fame aren't the things that'll bring her happiness. And she's just a girl in her 20s trying to figure out what to do next. And I think other books that she's mentioned are The Bell Jar and Robert Frost. And so I was also kind of thinking a little bit about that poem. You know, the poem that is like heavily overquoted by every valedictorian ever. Two roads diverge. What's it called? The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. You've heard it, you know. Most people read that poem and they're like, oh, this means that I should take the path that's less traveled because that means I'll stand out and I'll do my own thing. But like, that's not an accurate interpretation of the poem. The poem really is saying there's no right path. Like that's just a myth that like humans have created. We just have to take a path. When I think of that poem and I think of The Bell Jar, which has this scene about the fig tree and all the different figs that represent different life paths and just trying to decide which fig to eat, but before you can truly decide, the figs rot and they're all gone. You can't just like sit here and ponder and wait for your life to happen and wait until you're ready to make the right decision. You just have to make a decision. In these books, there are these characters who, Frances is a young girl in her 20s and she's trying to figure out what path to take and she's overthinking it. And in this book, you've got a 50-year-old who his life hasn't really turned out the way that he wanted to, and he's kind of upset about it because he's not as successful as he thought he would be. And I just think all of these different things are kind of coming together to say that we know that like the American dream isn't real. We know that money can't buy us happiness. We know that life is not measured by the things that we do. It's about surrounding yourself with people that you love, and it's about doing the things that you want to do. This has been such a random tangent that I've gone on. Basically, I'm sorry about Exciting Times. If you've read it and you think it's worth powering through, let me know. I guess what I'm trying to say is Carly is very well read and I think she has very good taste, and I think I liked a lot of her books because I think I kind of understand her a little bit, being a 20-year-old, and I'm kind of like, what's going on? But I think she has good recommendations. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want, like the video, leave a comment down below and let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought, and I will see you next time.